Noah pulled the bucket from her hands, dropping it into the water before he took her by the shoulders and gently forced her to turn around. "Jules, look at me. You have to let her go. Kealoha is ready to perform her death rite." Jules swallowed hard. She felt like a failure. Kealoha was a leader in the small community of cultural practitioners on Maui. Her mere presence on the island made the officials explore every possibility before even contemplating euthanizing any sea life. However, it was clear that from every side, cultural leaders, tourists, veterinarians, and the officials, they all wanted the same thing. Jules had joined voices with Kealoha when she'd begged for more time to hold the whales up so they could get stronger and try to save themselves, or at least swim away and die their own dignified deaths. But the officials had set a deadline, and they were now a little past it. The veterinarians had already sedated 2 of the whales to make them comfortable so they could humanely euthanize them. Kealoha came into view and embraced Jules. "Jules, they found a calf half a mile down the beach. They're already saying its body shows signs of infection and sickness. I think the pod was guiding it in for us to help it, but they never meant to come all the way to the beach. This cow was the mother of the calf. There was no way to prove it, but Jules just knew it was true. She felt it. That was why she felt such a connection with this particular old girl. They were kindred spirits. 2 mothers who would sacrifice their lives for their children. And the rest of them? Easy answer. Whales created a close-knit community. They would have decided it was safer to guide the calf in with a few protectors." "I am so sorry," Kealoha whispered, "but we can at least do this for her. We will ask their ancestors and the gods to take her gently and quickly. You have shown her such courage and compassion. You've done all you can do. And now we have to let her go." Jules knew the older woman was just as devastated about the outcome, and that they couldn't save them all. They tried, though, every single time. It wasn't simply human kindness. For Hawaiians, the whales were deeply revered, believed to be a manifestation of Kanaloa, a famous sea god. A few other cultural practitioners stepped into view, quiet and waiting. Jules knew them all by name. She respected their commitment. Behind her, the others continued to hold the whale up in the water. That group was younger, a generation removed from tradition, but still taking on their role quietly, without questions. Jules remembered the first time she'd seen such a practice on the beach. She'd only been 5 or 6 years old, and her father had explained to her that whales' bodies were meant to stay afloat in water, the buoyancy keeping them weightless. When they were sick and unable to hold themselves up, they could easily crush their own organs if not assisted. She'd given her first daughter that same lesson one early morning on a beach more than 30 years ago. Her little Nama, a sprite of a girl that she'd only had for a few years before the sea had seemingly swallowed her up too, before giving her back as an adult woman. A gift. So many years ago, Jules would have gone into the blue herself, following her daughter into an endless sea. But Noah had grounded her, as had Jonah. They'd needed her too. Jules hoped this cow didn't have more calves waiting out there, braying for their mother to return. It took everything in her, but she finally stepped back and nodded through the tears that rained down her face. "Okay," she whispered. The whale was probably dehydrated and possibly sunburned, even through the wet towels they kept over her. "We must let them end her suffering," Noah said. Jules approached the whale again, resting her forehead on the animal's and wrapping her arms as far around the massive wet body as they could go. She felt a shudder ripple through the whale. "You are magnificent," she whispered. "Be at peace." With that, she turned, her sobs erupting as Noah opened his arms and welcomed her in. She couldn't bear to watch the last minutes, so he guided her out of the water. Her son took her other arm, and together they quietly left the whale behind, so that she could let go and drift into the blue.